Amiham Brahmam, Amiham Brahmam, Amiham Brahmam, Amiham Brahmam, Amiham Brahmam, Amiham Brahmam.
If you can develop yourself through the stages of meditation, then any meditation you do will have a whole new dimension to it. Anything you do will have a place to hold itself under the pressure of the time. Because if there's anything that we need going through the transition of this time, it's to find ourselves, express it consistently across all the things we experience, and hold that sort of transcendently in our spirit. So it's called crystallizing the self. What's the word? Crystallize the self. That's his word for it. And then we have to distill the self. You know when you distill something like gold? It has all kinds of things around it, right? You remove it and you find that purity is still there. That's when we're creative, when we express that self at work, as a family, as a father, as a lover, as a writer, all those different things we do. How many hundreds of things? Oftentimes we start to have that self here and here, but not here, here, and here. And so there's a stage of expression that you have to guide that self, to expand, to embrace, to become amazingly spontaneous and creative. That's the second process. The third process is transcend the self. It's where you have a relationship to the formless. So the 21 stages of meditation that he outlined, I was lucky. We talked about this when we wrote the Mind book and various things together, and we talked about meditation. And he said, well, you have to get to the stage. In other words, if you do a meditation, you can have an experience, right? I do. You do. But then a stage means that experience has matured with the self. And you have a now steady cognition. You have a steady frame to see through. So you're shaping the lens. You're not just having an experience. You are creating a stage in which experience can be held. So the stages of meditation are not about doing a bunch of meditations. That's a different course. This is about you honing this fundamental keystone of skill that will hold you beautifully as a human being in this age. Look, let me put it simply, okay? If you were ever up at 2 a.m. in the morning for some reason, other than early sadhana, you looked on the TV, they're selling you things. You used to have these infomercials, right? And they'd always sell these knives that never get dull. Well, of course you have to sharpen them. It's just to sell you a knife, right? But we want a really sharp knife. That's why you buy them. You ever cut a tomato with a dull knife? No? I have. It squishes. And then you try to go like this, and it doesn't work either. So you have to sharpen the knife. If you sharpen the knife really, really well, it's a good knife, and you sharpen it, right? And you go back to the next tomato, right? Because I squished the other one. So you take the next tomato. If you put the knife, just touch the tomato, just place it, it goes right through. It slides through. So when you have a sharp knife, you don't need force. If you have a dull knife, you have to be forceful. If you have a sharp knife, it's not about force, it's about placement. And then it happens almost like a flow. Cutting becomes spontaneous, it becomes a flow. Exactly so with the meditation of the mind. There is a skill that we all need to go through this, where we have to keep sharpening that knife again and again. It's not that I got it, I've reached a stage. I'm the enlightened one. Follow me. I see special things. Forget it. You've realized to grow up and keep your knife sharp. You've woken up and you know where to place it with subtlety and grace, and to allow the infinite to work with you. And you keep up because you do the efforts that you need to look at yourself and make that happen. This is the 21 stages of meditation that he gave.